Grimmy implied Mythic is another black company, but will drama tubers talk about this when all the biggest ones work for them? I guess False already graduated, but Rima's still there. Imagine taking Rima's reporting seriously.
So, but yeah, I mean, I was always independent, so the thing is, if you're a sponsor or anything like that, please just direct yourself to Grimmy at deadtransmission.com. As for the stuff with Mythic, I can't talk about it, and I'm specifically not gonna say anything about it. That's pretty much it. I wasn't hype about it. I'm not gonna tell anyone about it. It was a little silly. On your about page, Twitch. Okay, I'll change that right now. Thank you for letting me know. This isn't like a thing where it's just like, oh, Grimmy got upset. This was quite substantial. But on the other hand, I don't really want to like cause any problems for anyone there. I don't know how on earth. I don't know. Pretty much all I'll say is that was there was something very, very crazy. I think people would be pretty upset about it if they do, and that's pretty much all I can say. I think everyone would be pissed, but
okay.
I am not going to talk about it. And if I hear any rumors spreading about why I left, where they're trying to frame me negatively, I will talk about it. And I will tell everyone exactly what it was. I was really, really, really upset. And I think everyone would have been, like, universally there. So, alright. Not on, like, on a personal level for them. Not just me, on a personal level individually. But anyways, we're moving on.
Okay.
I would have been upset too if you knew. If you knew. But Grimmy got receipts. I do, actually. I have proof of something. But, I'm gonna see if I can't... Well, I'm 50-50 on whether or not it's gonna become a legal matter or not. So, that's pretty much it. I didn't want to dig into that part, whatever happened. It's okay. I'm so sorry for being a little pissy about it. That's all I can say. Oh, man. Some people...
There's still like a minute left. What do you mean?
Sorry, I'm thinking about it and getting pissed. Alright. Alright, we're chill. We're chill. It's all good. It's all good, baby. It's all good. I might need to take a lap. Okay, alright. Chill, Grimmy. Chill, we're chill.
What the heck is going on with this clip?
It's all good. It is all good. It is all good. We are okay. It is all right. But, anyway, don't you worry. We're going back to Ghosty's streamer house for right now. There you go. Anyways, that kind of stuff happens in life, and it be what it be. We're gonna have to probably not talk about it until, yeah. I mean, I don't want to... But dear God. Okay.
Well, that told us absolutely nothing. To hell with the weasel wording nonsense. Poop or get off the pot. Yeah, that was like crazy vague posting. There's screenshots. I don't know if there's a clip of this, but it says, welcome to blah blah blah. This is the start of the blah blah blah. Add members or roles, edit channel, deliverables, 1 times 2 hour Twitch stream, overlay chatbot, pin comment, timeline, blah blah blah, offer $2,000 minus 20%. Would it be possible to get the completed signed by both parties contracts for this? And someone said, get the contract. Our system state that it's actually 2,100 versus 2,000. So I dug into what happened and it was a typo with the brand. So it was resolved between our sales team and their team. So you were always going to get the proper amount. Just the information didn't quite reach me, which is obviously still an issue. I mean, I've had deliverables change before. Where, like, they initially wanted, like, a 2-hour stream and, like, some sort of something or other. And then they're like, oh, can we add a Twitter post to that? And it's like, sure, whatever, man. I don't care. I'll do a fucking Twitter post. Like, so sometimes deliverables get changed, and especially if it's before contract signing. All right, I don't know. It's November 2025, and then she asked February 2026, would it be possible to get the completed, signed by both parties contract for this? So she's asking for, I guess, like the contract proof of like all of the numbers being correct. And somebody else is saying that they're gonna give her that contract and there was some kind of typo, I guess, question mark. Personally love vague posting about drama with my talent agency, don't you, Kier? I mean, I've been the dumb bitch doing the vague posting before. Sometimes it just takes you because you're so fucking frustrated and you want to talk about it, but you know you can't say everything because it's like other people could get in trouble and you don't want those other people to get in trouble. So like you just vague post and you shouldn't do it. It's bad. You shouldn't do it. It's a bad thing to do. But I can understand why some people tend to do it. True. Just say nothing. Yeah, just say nothing would be the correct thing to do. But, you know, sometimes your brain worms, they kill you. This one says deliverable 1 times 4 hour stream, timeline, blah, blah, blah. Offer 4,000 minus 20%. We have the 1 times 2 hour Twitch stream. This one says 2 hour. That one says 4 hour. So the original was 1 times 4 hour stream. And what she was given was 1 times 2 hour Twitch stream. Isn't that better? Am I crazy? What? Well, I was posted a whole bunch of text. Let me read this text. The text that I was given along with these screenshots says, she doesn't want anyone attacking anyone involved with Mythic, at Mythic, etc. She says this repeatedly, knows this will likely be shaved off the top of the info for the sake of drama, but she genuinely doesn't want any sort of attacks over this issue. I mean, yeah, she can want that, but she can't control people. If people get angry, if people are wondering if, like, is this happening to my Oshi? Is this another VShoho situation? Like, once it's out in the public, you kind of can't control it. She started the game portion of that stream early as a tip-off to viewers that it wasn't a normal stream, but also so she could actually talk about it, assumingly wanted fewer eyes, saying only that the people she knew would be there. She really wasn't going to talk about it until she started getting messages from other creators about it. She wishes it was someone else who discovered this. Which, yeah, I fully fucking understand that. Like, yeah, people don't want to have to deal with this stuff, but if something is wrong, right, you want to do something about it. You don't want to just let something wrong keep going. You don't get to dictate the response after you drop a hand grenade and walk out. And it's like the one thing that I could do towards like drama monger stuff in the past is like if there was something that involved like Pippa even tertiarily, I can't English, I would be like, don't like bring this up to her, right? Like, don't start shitting in her stream about this stuff. And if I find out you've been like shitting up her stream with this kind of stuff, I'll just ban you from here. Because it's like, I want to make sure my friends are in a comfortable position and not bothered by stuff. She considers the public statement as a way to tip off other creators at Mythic to get their receipts in order to protect themselves going into the future. And yeah, I think that's a good thing to do. If you're like now concerned, asking for your contracts, asking for like the proof of communication, I don't think that's a bad idea at all. And I have nothing bad to say about my particular Mythic manager. He's been fucking great. I've reached out to a few sponsors that I was told had been reached out to and then had like never responded. But these were sponsors who came directly to me. And when sponsors come directly to me, I can't accept things without going through Mythic. So I would take that sponsor offer and I would give it to my manager and be like, hey, this is someone who came to me, let's get this fleshed out. And then the sponsor person would like supposedly ghost. I've reached out to those sponsors and been like, hey, was there any communications going on? I just want to make sure that I knew everything that was going on at the time. And I'm not going to have anything weird pop up in the future. As you do. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with like going to get confirmation of things, you know? The text continues and says, she doesn't know who's responsible. She doesn't know who knows what's going on. This isn't yet her going nuclear. She was given conflicting information by 2 different parties at Mythic, and she considers this as them telling on themselves. It's not about botting politics or anything of the sort. She doesn't have anything against anyone for those topics. Content creators should ask for specific video proof of Mythic's negotiations with publishers. I guess they could like record a text conversation for video proof, but I would probably personally be fine with like just a copy of the contract. They would not send her the negotiation with sponsors. That's weird. She is ready to go to court, but hesitant to pursue legal action because she doesn't hate Mythic or the people there. She wants to give creators the chance to gather their own records before someone goes and starts hiding it all. I think there's too many people at Mythic for them to be able to hide if something nefarious was going on. There's too many creators under too much management. Like, VShoho wasn't as huge as Mythic as far as, like, how many people were involved in it, right? So, like, the number of people involved in Mythic is much larger than the number of people involved in VShoho. I don't think there'd be any way to hide it all. I don't think that at all. Why not just message other Mythic talents and ask them if they've noticed anything in private before posting publicly so that they can ask questions before Mythic deletes anything? That's probably what I would have done, and that's what I was going to say, is like maybe before posting things publicly, could have gotten some more information from the Mythic people that you were working with. I can understand not trusting them, so then you go and reach out to other creators and ask if they've had similar experiences. Your pet peeve is people calling Mythic a VTuber agency when it's like 90% flesh tubers. I think a lot of people fundamentally understand or misunderstand what Mythic is. Mythic is like a sponsorship agency. Like, you sign on to Mythic and they don't tell you what to do with your content. They don't like direct you with your content. You ask them to get you sponsors, to help you with sponsor deals that you might already have if you need it. If you need help like building a website or finding some kind of like asset developer or whatever, they can try and use their resources to help you find those things. So it's not like Grimmy was obviously in Mythic. I am obviously in Mythic. I've never done anything with Grimmy. Like I could go the entirety of my time at Mythic and like never even speak to another creator. There's like no cross-pollination there unless you want there to be. You know? It's like people who are involved with it don't have anything to do with each other unless they want to. You don't work for Mythic, Mythic works for you. Also a good way to put it. They do not offer in-house talent development and resources. Yes, and that was something I was asked about as well. I was asked previously, like, hey, what are some of the things that Mythic does for you? Because I would like to have somebody that like gives me content to react to. And I was like, well, Mythic doesn't really do that. They're not gonna like acquire things for you to do for your content. That's not what they do. She reiterates that she doesn't know who's responsible. She doesn't think it's anyone who runs Mythic, for example. She befriended some of the publishers that work with Mythic. I don't know what that means. This was the catalyst for the event. She got permission from one publisher to talk about stuff. She will not be naming them. They gave her 2 statements about something that she can disprove because they thought she had a lot less. If you're at Mythic, confirm your campaign rates don't match what they're telling you about 15% before they show you your campaign rates. Paraphrased, a bit unclear what this means. As she had talked to somebody from the same company, negotiating with them in the same manner. These communications were in the same email, same company, etc. This matters for later information. They won't currently show her the negotiations that take place for their sponsorship. See, that would be really weird if they were just straight up telling her, like, we can't show you that. I don't know why they wouldn't be able to. Asmon is giving a quick statement on Mythic right now. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
And at the end of the day, I welcome all of it. I think it's completely fine. Because I am going in a direction that I think is the right, morally correct decision. And if you're afraid to do that, and you don't want to do that because you don't want to have the negative people attacking you or whatever, like, my dad used to always tell me, life is not about being happy. It's not about being happy. And I've always looked at it that way myself. I try to do things that I think are the right thing to do. And I advocate for things that I think are the right thing to do. Yeah. Regardless of what the consequences are. And that has been, in a lot of cases, to my detriment. I've taken people's side publicly who were disliked. I've stood by statements I've made that have alienated people because I believe they were the morally and ethically correct thing to say and do.
He just like me, for real?
I don't really have a lot of regrets. And what's life about then? Achieving your goals, making the world a better place, and doing what you want to do. That's
maybe
basically
the happiness is the pursuit of that we had along the way.
And that to me is true freedom. That's what you want to have sex. Yeah, that's what I care about the most about everything. And so every connection that I've made basically with the streamer world, I have effectively severed that connection. The reality is that people that play video games for a living it's hard for them to reconcile that with the position that I'm in, where I'm talking to people that are like, you know, like, I don't know, like very high level political people. I'm doing like, you know, events with people that are like also like very well known. Like this is like very high level, extremely like high, not even really high level, but it's like high intensity, high controversy content, right? Like I talk about, you know, racial demographics. I talk about, you know, crime stuff. I talk about the wars. I talk about ideology. I criticize religion. I talk about, you know, like, I don't know, like just politics in general. I give takes on immigration. And my takes aren't just the takes that, you know, are the Oscar-friendly Hollywood opinions, right? And so because of that, I think that a lot of people just simply don't want to be involved. And I think that that's totally fine. I don't have any animosity, any hostility, any sort of anger or frustration towards anybody who doesn't want to be involved. Because I know that I'm on the right path, and I know that I'm doing the right thing. So why would I ever look at a person who, like, I mean, I'm going to be honest, why would I care what some person that plays video games for a living thinks about what I'm doing? Like some
He's
1K
evolved.
viewer streamer cares about like their approval. I don't care about their approval. Why would I care about their approval? They're like an NPC to me. Really? Why would I even think about them? So it's just bad timing. So-called dark work and the campaign against you. Well, they're gonna have to try a lot harder, and I'll tell you that. This is something I already wasn't really involved in. So that's really about it. England does on the Golden Path. Well, I don't know about that. Should the Pope ask for a crusade in Iran? Well, it's not really for Christianity, is it? I don't think so. And does that apply to you as well? Well, I don't know. It depends, right? And so, yeah, basically as streamers, what would be the approval that you care about? From myself. From myself and what I believe my core audience to be. That's really
That's
it.
a good way to
like,
look
to
at
me,
things.
Like it's obvious that there have been a lot of people who have been unhappy with like my my takes on the Iran war, and also people were unhappy about what I said about pirate software and, you know, other things like that. Your name's being used to bully smaller creators that don't align with the left. You should take a stance on that. Well, again, I don't want to take a stance on that. Here's the reason why. I don't want to conscript other people into fighting my war. I have no problem fighting combatants, but I don't want to attack civilians.
I think
And
the problem with this is like
If
the
there's
crazy
somebody who
cancel
doesn't
culture
wanna be
people who will
involved in this
take
conflict,
credit for Mythic
I don't
cutting
want
ties
to
with Asmon
involve
Gold,
them and drag
which
them into
isn't
the
even the case because Asmon cut ties with them previously, and I have the VoD for that.
Right?
Asmon had already cut ties with them like a year ago, if not longer.
Then yeah,
But like people are going to now see this as a win, and they're going to increase their attacks on other people like myself because they were able to successfully bully Asmon out of a place in their perspective.
You know, they don't want to be involved.
And it's like, you know, I don't want to like say, oh, you know, he has to defend certain people or not, because he doesn't have to do fucking anything. But it's like now that he's been edged out and the left perceives this as a victory, they're going to go even harder on smaller creators because they think that they can get more wins now that they have taken down Asmon, which they haven't and they didn't, but that's their perception, and that's all that matters to them.
The reason why I don't get involved with it is because it's fundamentally not a space that I'm a part of anymore. While I am still a streamer and I do make content here on Twitch, I am not really a part of the streaming community. You're probably never going to see me at another streaming event.
That's crazy.
I'm never probably going to do a collab event stream again with another streamer. It's probably never going to happen again.
No.
I don't know. I don't like saying never say never, right? But like it's something I'm really never planning on doing again, collabing with, or having anything to do with these people ever. And it's not that I hate them. Some of them I do. But many of them, that's not the case. But too far. What about Clav? That's the thing.
Like I would love to do something with Asmon because I feel like I'm in a very similar position, just not as successful.
I have no problem
and I want to do stuff in the real world politics-wise as well.
Nick, right? I've got no issue with that. But specifically Twitch streamers. I'm basically racist against Twitch streamers.
Understandable.
And after my 10 years on Twitch and the 5 years recently, can you really fucking blame me?
Not really, no.
How many of my friends have been canceled, crashed out, massive problems, huge drama.
Yep.
Can you actually blame me?
Yep, can't blame 'em.
I've got no problem doing shit. McConnell? Oh, yeah, right, McConnell, right? Well, that's different.
And I mean, I've said before
But
as
in
well,
general.
like, it makes sense that he
And,
has
you can
zero
say you
trust
retire
in any
from
kind of
Twitch
streamers
publicly?
as
Yeah.
well.
I
Like, from
think
his
most streamers are
position,
too
I
scared to
fucking
come
wouldn't
with a
trust
controversial
anyone. Are you
person.
kidding me?
They are. Twitch streamers are. Kick streamers don't give a shit. Guys on Rumble don't give a shit. People on YouTube don't give a shit. But it's specifically Twitch streamers that are slaves to their audience. It's pathetic. And
It
I
is
don't want to
weird.
have anything to do with it. This has nothing to do with Mythic talent, by the way. There's nothing to do with them. I have I love working with them. I think they're great people. I have zero animosity, and I think that these lies that are being spread about them, that they weren't making payments, they were like fucking skimming funds, are total fucking bullshit. And I don't know why you would say that without being absolutely fucking certain. So
Yeah.
it's insane that you would even
Yeah.
say this.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That
and
definitely-
I mean, to
that
say this
definitely
about
should
a
have,
talent
cooked
company
in the
like
oven
this
for a
is, like,
bit
one of
longer.
the worst things you can say about a place like this, and it's like spreading that lie is ridiculous. But yeah, that's really about it. But yeah, I don't have anything really negative to say about that at all. Nicholas might make a video about it. I don't know about that at all. So. And so every Twitch streamer is far left until proven otherwise, I think. Well, fundamentally, I think that a lot of people just they view me as an extremist, and they view me as like a bad actor, and I think that that's up to them, right? They're going to think whatever they want to think, and you know, that's really about it. I don't really care. And also, like, a lot of those people are just, I mean, I'm going to be honest, they're retards. Who cares what they think? I mean, really, like, who gives a fuck? And so I don't really worry about it too much, right? Unless I can make content about it. So in general, I have no interest or desire of having anything to do with any Twitch streamers ever again. Period. That's about it. Like, just zero. I'm not saying I'll never make an exception. I'm not saying this will never change. But that's the position that I'm in right now. And this was one of the
Understandable
last kind of
position, but
connections
I will
had
hold
the
on to
streaming
hope.
Community. And now it's gone. Best of luck to them, and I'm gonna go and do my own thing. So yeah, that's about it. And I also, by the way, like, I don't want to share, like, overshare things that they told me about this, etc. But like, that's really, that's why I don't want to go into, like, well, why this happened or what it was or anything specifically. But just in general, I'm not involved anymore, and that's it. So yeah. Start your
You're
own
a
streaming
kick
company.
streamer, you're good.
I don't want to deal with that again. I already.
Yeah, I
did
was gonna
that.
say, I don't think
wanna
he's gonna
deal
set
with
up a new
that.
company.
That gave me so much stress and headache and problems. I have no interest at all ever doing that again. That was the last company. Yeah, no more drama with companies. As far as I know, yeah. I mean, like, I'm totally out of it. I'm totally uninvolved. And it's just been very exhausting. It's been totally exhausting.
I can only
having to
imagine. There have
deal
been people
with
who are like,
other
Kirsche,
people's
set up
problems in
your own
different
VTuber
ways.
company. It's like, I don't want to manage that shit, man.
Content, keep your name in their mouth. Well, that's fine. I mean, like, and I have no problem farming them and saying negative things about them. But, like, all I'm saying is, like, I'm not going to attack other random people, and I'm not going to make other random people try to, like, take my side on things.
Yeah,
I think
of
it's
course.
ridiculous. So, yo, Starforge scammed me? That's crazy. Wow. How about that? And, yeah, wow.
What the fuck?
And you're free? Will steak and eggs come back? Never. Probably never. And I have no interest in doing that at all. I'm totally done. So, yeah, all of that is done. No more streamer events. No more collabs. No more doing any of that bullshit. So, I'm done. Totally done. Good riddance. Thank God. Oh, my God. Holy shit, what a fucking headache that's been. Oh
I can
my
only
God.
imagine.
Exhausting.
I can genuinely
Allcraft, I will
only
do
imagine.
Allcraft. I'll continue doing Allcraft. At least for now. So, yes. And you've seen Casey Tron claiming it was because of her. Yeah, I don't really... The thing is that, like, I don't want to entangle them into something else and start, like, involving it. Like, I mean, I just don't want to make a lot of comments on, like, why it happened or anything else, because I think that if I say yes or no or anything that I say about that could potentially give them even more drama, and they're already dealing with other bullshit, and I don't want to have to see them deal with more of it. As I said, I have no problem with Mythic. They're great, but I'm just not involved anymore. So, yeah. And as long as you're not isolating offline, all good. Well, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not really... I mean, aside from a handful of streamers, I'm, like, not really friends with any of these people. So, like, I don't really have anything to do with them, period. But that's just what happens. And again, like, you know, you could... you could turn it into like a big negative thing, and like you could farm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I am a person that I have a mindset. I try to have what's the word for it? An agency mindset. And what I mean by that is that I look at everything that I do and everything that happens to me as a result of something that I did. I don't view things as like things that happened to me. I view things as something that I caused to happen. So whenever I have something negative happen to me, I don't look at somebody else and blame them. I look at myself and I blame myself. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, but that's not an entirely healthy mentality if you always blame yourself. Like, sure, sometimes it's your fault.
And, yeah. I don't really know.
But
if
other
there's anything
times,
else
just
really
because
that's
somebody
worth
is
saying.
reacting to
You're right, it
something
doesn't
that
have to
you
be
did, if
streamers.
they're
I have no
attacking you
interest in interacting
unfairly,
with streamers at all.
that's not your fault. So this was one of the Mythic statements. This was the Mythic statement in response to Grimmy. And they said, Mythic is aware of public statements made by a former talent, Grimmy, regarding payment discrepancies. We take her allegations seriously and have conducted a thorough review of our records. The claims that Mythic, quote-unquote, skimmed funds from her 2 campaigns are factually incorrect. Our records indicate that Grimmy was paid in full for both cited activations per contract terms and according to the terms of her talent agreement, which include an agreed-upon management fee. The campaigns were valued at $2,100 and $4,400 respectively. In the first campaign, Grimmy was sent the full value of a $2,100 activation, less our agreed-upon management fee, and less any potential banking transaction fees on her end. That's one thing I will complain about. I complained about it directly to my manager as well, is Mythic uses like some weird fucking platform I'd never heard about to deliver payments, and their fee for delivering the payment from the platform to your bank account is ridiculous. And I was like, can I just use like PayPal? Can we just do like a direct deposit or something? Because like this middleman platform is taking a fee that I shouldn't have taken out. And they were like, no, this is the platform we have to use. And I was like, that's kind of retarded, but whatever, bro. All right. In a second campaign, Grimmy received full payment of $4,400 for the campaign, less our management fee and any banking fees. Both of these payments were made within days of receiving payment from the brand. Had Mythic skimmed the $100 and $400 amount alleged by Grimmy, her payouts would have been significantly lower. Our payment platform logs every transaction, and these figures are available for independent verification via her bank statements and our portal. If any payment inconsistencies have taken place or our figures above are incorrect, we encourage Grimmy to provide us these inconsistencies so that we may remedy them. While we attempted to reach Grimmy to clarify her grievances, she chose to make these claims public before a dialogue could occur. We have sent Grimmy the banking logs, contracts, invoices, and payment record receipts for these campaigns, and we remain open to reviewing any documentation Grimmy may have that contradicts them. We understand that miscommunication can and do happen, and that we are certainly not immune to them. Mythic remains committed to transparency and the success of our creators, and we will continue to foster an environment built on mutual respect and professional integrity. So, that's a very interesting response. And then Grimmy responded to that. Hey, this is the third explanation they've given about these issues. I don't have anything against them, but so far they've claimed for the same publisher, negotiated with the same methods. It was a typo, and they were agency fees. And now they're changing the story again and saying I was paid in full for an amount they never showed me, but there's various banking fees. So which is it? I believe at this point they're trying to get a statement out first so they don't have to confront the other information they gave me or how I talked about the situation. So here's mine. I don't want any money, I don't want any attention, and would prefer to go back to streaming normally, so I'm on break hoping for things to calm down and waiting for attention to dissipate. Not trying to capitalize off of it like some people have claimed. If there was a problem, why would you reject the money? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you reject the money that you're owed if there's a problem here? And like, I don't know like what this is supposed to mean, but like, yeah, I don't like the vague posting. I don't like that. I don't know how much of an attempt there was to try and get this covered privately before she took it public, but I don't like the vague posting. But I still don't think that like trying to talk about this is that bad of a thing. If something bad actually happened, and there's tons of streamers leaving Mythic or being cut from Mythic recently, and that creates a lot of other questions as well, this kind of feels to me like a case of somebody said something bad happened to them and everyone's telling them to shut up, it's causing drama, and I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair. My intention with saying this is letting other streamers at Mythic Talent know that they should request their full negotiation records for sponsorships. That being said, everyone I talked to at Mythic Management is very pleasant. I liked everyone I worked with. I don't wish them any ill. Please don't be harsh on them. Everyone there is a person with a life, and this is stressful to go through for them too. I do not know who is involved with this, which, if like more private dialogue had happened, this probably could have been entirely avoided, hopefully, if there's nothing like strange going on. I mean, like last year, I only had one sponsor from Mythic, and then I brought them the fish tank sponsor that I was offered. So I know that one was accurate because I was told I was like in the middle of the discussions, right? I brought that in. Something that makes you think, I don't know, they robbed me, but also they're good people. Yeah, that's also very weird, right? Like, I could understand, like, with Crime Boss, where I'm like, they just told me it was a unanimous decision. I don't know if it was the publisher, or if it was the developer, or if it was both. But I was still fucked over. Regardless of who made the decision, the fucking over still happened. And that's why, like, when people were asking me to comment on stuff after Asmon was cut, it's like, I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. The only person in Mythic I talk to is my manager, and I haven't had any problems with my manager. That's something Grimmy does, trying to give everyone a chance no matter what they did. I think that's a very woman-brained thing to do. And it's like, I've done that before, and it's definitely been a detriment when I've done that before. Please do not paint me as stupid or attack me after you've continued to give me different explanations. Please do not act like I did not understand my contract. You're taking an additional random amount off the top before presenting it to the streamer and taking the agreed 20%. Like, if this is true, right, I don't think the screenshots showed that. So if this is true, I personally would need more proof to say that this accusation is more than an accusation. Why are there 3 explanations for this now? If you can't believe me, that's fine, but it also looks like this isn't an isolated incident when people talk directly to sponsors involved with Mythic. I don't know who's responsible for this, but I hope it gets resolved for everyone. Nothing against anyone there. Hope they're all well. Well, you shouldn't say that, right? Because you literally just said, I don't know who's responsible, but I hope it gets resolved. If there is, like, some rogue person in the company doing something nefarious, they should be held accountable, and you should have something against that individual in particular. So I was like, that's just weird wording to me. Just a little bit. This person said, I had a similar experience with Mythic, straight lied to about what the sponsor was offering, and it took me talking to the sponsor themselves to find out. Not surprised to see this. Used car salesman 100%. I very much agree with, like, assessing the situation, and it's like, I'm definitely willing to hear someone out, especially if they claim that they've been treated poorly. But, like, again, the sticks add up. The vague posting, talking about legal action, switching to, I don't even want the money anymore. That makes me think that maybe this was some kind of misunderstanding. Maybe it's not, and she's just really, really bad at wording things. I don't know who Sheaf is, but Sheaf is someone who is also claiming that he had a similar experience with Mythic. Mind linking what you're talking about? Would love to see what the sponsor said they were actually paying compared to what Mythic told you. Yeah, same. I would love to see that. Considering there's a high likelihood this ends up in a lawsuit, considering Grimmy has said she's talking with lawyers, there's 0 chance of us seeing the communications at this time. True, but Sheaf is not Grimmy. Company Asmon ran was scamming its creators. Who could have seen the guy who brags about running scams doing this? Hope you have receipts, because they're definitely going to start suing for defamation if they get dogpiled by a bunch of ADHD streamers that didn't understand their contract, which is true. I mean, I can resoundly say I haven't had any of this, like, skimming concern. If you feel like you might have this concern, definitely ask for your contracts. I don't see why there'd be a problem with that. My concern was, like, maybe some of these sponsors didn't actually get reached out to at all, because why would they reach out to me to sponsor me, and then I give their contact to Mythic, and then they ghost Mythic, right? That doesn't make sense. They took the time to actually reach out to me personally, but then ghosted my manager? That don't make no sense. Cladex, thank you. Going to thousands of dollars of lawsuits for $500. She doesn't even need to do that. Mythic was like, you know, talk to us, and we could give you the money if there's actually some issue here. And then she said, I don't want the money, which is weird. I don't understand. And this guy also didn't post any proof of anything. And I've talked extensively about my one biggest issue with Mythic, and that was before I was signed on. It was when I was trying to get signed on. Mythic Talent Agency alleged to have skimmed money off the top of a sponsor, shorting their talent. This happened to VTuber Grimmy. Didn't want to blast her name in the title because she's already nervous about this, but feels she needs to spread the word. At the moment, there aren't any clips of this because it's only a few hours old. She set the VoD to not show up on Twitch at the moment of writing. I included screenshots of the evidence she could show. Because there's evidence, it's technically an accusation, but she specifically is using the word allegation because she's trying to be careful. Also, if you don't know about her character, she's honest to a fault and truly tries to see the best in everybody all the time, so for her to speak about this is difficult, but she wants others with Mythic to know. I mean, you can say that, but like the way that she's worded things makes it like a bit strange. This already sounds like a simp post, right? Just because someone is honest doesn't mean they're correct. Yeah, like I'm fucking honest, but I get shit wrong sometimes. I'm not infallible. Being wrong doesn't make you a liar. Grimmy personally befriended a game publisher that had previously sponsored her before, and through speaking to them discovered that there was a small discrepancy multiple times between what the negotiated amount was that she would be paid versus what she actually was paid for the sponsorships. The negotiations are done between Mythic and the publisher. Talents don't see those documents and conversations. The outcome of negotiations was that she would be paid $2,100. However, the contract she received from Mythic and signed for was $2,000, 5% difference. The publisher gave her proof that they paid $2,100 to Mythic, bottom bit, and then Mythic sent her the $2,000 she was expecting from the contract. When she alerted Mythic after finding out from the publisher, they told her that it was a typo on the publisher's end, and then she was given the additional $100, the top bit. Yeah, I think this was the Discord conversation, right? Yeah, this was the Discord conversation, where this particular contract with the 1-2 hour stream and the $2,000 minus 20% got the contract. Our systems state that it's actually $2,100 versus $2,000. So I dug into what happened, and it was a typo with the brand. So it was resolved between our sales team and their sales team. So you were always going to get the proper amount, just the information didn't quite reach me. So this is where the confusing part is, the bottom bit. Where's the bottom bit? The publisher gave her proof that they paid $2,100 to Mythic, which is the bottom bit. Okay, so this is the payment from the publisher to Mythic. $2,100. Okay, I understand. Wouldn't she need to sign the updated version? That's probably why she was asking for the contract here. Would it be possible to get the completed, signed by both parties contract for this? But then Mythic said it was always a $2,100 contract. In the first campaign, Grimmy was sent the full value of a $2,100 activation, less our agreed upon management fee, less any potential banking and transaction fees on her end. Yeah, so she was sent the full $2,100 minus, and it looks like her fee is 20%. So they took 20% of $2,100, and then there's a fee for the transfer of the money from the shitty platform that they use to pay creators to your actual account that you want the money in. I don't remember how much that fee is off the top of my head. So it doesn't say that the full contract was $2,100. It says that they paid out the $2,100 less their fees. So it sounds like the typo was when they showed her it was $2,000, maybe? I don't know. It is weird. Like, I would be very like, I don't trust what you're saying. Such a mess. So there's this thing I don't want to talk about. Okay, I'm going to talk about it. Okay, Grimmy, let's talk. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. Why is Mythic talking about this? I don't want the attention nor the money, and I don't know who is responsible. I want to move on. It's all very confusing, actually. And then this other one, they said the outcome was $4,400, but she was told it was $4,000, a 10% difference. The excuse Mythic gave was that it was an additional fee because of an outside marketing agency. However, it was the exact same people negotiating it both times through the same emails, which makes that very unlikely. There was also some odd mix-up with the length. The publisher said 2 hours, but Grimmy was told 4. The key things here are that 1, Mythic refuses to show her the negotiation documents between Mythic and the publishers. Well, in that statement that we just read, they said that they are willing to show her things. So if they said that publicly and then they still declined to do it, then that's like their reputation on the line, is it not? After she requested them, only the contract that she signed, and also in this one, the guy said got the contract, so wouldn't he just be able to send that to her, right? You know? There was also some odd mix-up with the length. The publisher said 2 hours, Grimmy was told 4, Mythic refused to show her the documents. After she requested them, only the contract that she signed, and 2, she has many more examples of this behavior, and I believe from multiple publishers, but this was the only publisher that gave her permission to show evidence of it on stream and publicize. These are not the only incidents. She's keeping those others private in case this is taken to court, and if this has been done to more streamers and larger streamers, it likely will be. See, this is another weird thing, right? If she was like ready to take it to court because she's been wronged, and understandable, If I wasn't able to actually come to any conclusion with the company, I would be like, is the only way that we can solve this and I get what I'm supposed to be paid to actually take you to court over it? Do we really want to go that route? Like, are we serious here? But then she said, I don't even want the money, so I don't understand. And if this has been done to more streamers and larger streamers, it likely will be. She's also made clear that this isn't an expected fee that Mythic was supposed to take, and the fact that she was given different excuses for each instance confirms that it's not a normal fee. Note that this is similar to what the agency VShoho did to their talents, skimming sponsor money by sending less to the talent than was actually negotiated. Grimmy is telling all talent with Mythic to request documentation of negotiation for companies that they were sponsored by. The contracts they signed won't show the real amount Mythic was paid by the sponsor to go to the talent, only the amount that the talent was to be paid by Mythic. So they need to be shown the correspondence between companies to check if the amount is correct. She obviously left Mythic, and quite a few other talents have been leaving recently without giving any public reason as to why. I'm gonna say that wasn't obvious. I had no idea that she had left. I thought she was doing this like while still completely like signed to them. So I was additionally confused. I was like, why can't she talk to them? What's happening? And just straight up impossible to know the truth because we don't have access to the information needed to figure it out. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't show her, but yeah, if they're saying we can't show you the contract, that would be fishy. Their public statement says that they would. So I'm left to believe the public statement, right? Tectone was open for years that Mythic basically existed so him and his friends could make money. Well, I mean, if that's the case, the skimming would make even less sense, correct? Like, on that post that Asmon had brought up as well, the Mythic post, Nicholas Light here saying, can't believe y'all would bend the knee, not only parting ways with controversial creators, but publicizing it, giving more fuel to the mob, making them happy. Absolutely disgraceful and disgusting of you. I thought you had a spine, I guess not. And he's probably talking about because they locked comments on it. They locked comments on their post here. It says, we've spoken with Asmongold and mutually agreed to part ways. Mythic represents creators from a wide range of backgrounds and perspectives, and we're committed to fostering an environment grounded in respect and responsibility. We remain focused on supporting our creators and continuing our mission to help them build sustainable, long-term careers. And they locked the replies here. And if I go back, October 16th, 2024, 3.6 million views.
Normal life. And also, I want to spend maybe a little bit less time streaming, and I want to spend more time creating my own videos and doing my own things and spending time on things that I really enjoy and basically just like expanding my existence as a person. I think that ever since I started like OTK and I got involved with that, and then we had like other Starforge and like Mad Mushroom and Mythic and everything, like honestly it's been too much for me to handle. It's insane. Like I think about it and it's in shambles. Everything about my life is basically fucked. And I'm gonna take a step back from all of that. I'm gonna step away from my leadership position and OTK and Starforge and everything. I wanna, and they're fine with that. They respect that, and I wanna do this. And I wanna do this not only for them, but mainly for myself, so I can be a better version of myself for everyone. And I want to apologize to all you guys, my viewers, that I don't think I've lived up to that. I think that I can be a lot better than what I am right now. And I don't even think that I've been putting in half the effort that I should be in the way that I should be.
And so he stepped away from like all of the companies that he had a leadership position in, which Mythic is one of them. And so like their current message just doesn't make sense to me, because it's like you guys were already separated, so what is the point of making this? That's what people think. He won't keep making money off all the companies. He just left leadership, but he's still an associate or the owner. That's what everyone was saying back when that video dropped, when everyone was like celebrating how he's like leaving OTK and leaving Mythic and leaving Starforge. It's like he's still an owner of all of these things. He's just not going to be involved with them. But yeah, this doesn't read like a buyout to me. It just reads really weird. And especially with the timing where people were trying to harass Mythic creators to like, you know, Asmon's involved with Mythic, so you need to drop them if you're an ally, or they have all of these controversial creators, like you should pressure them to drop the controversial creators. If Mythic did anything to either drop controversial creators or like did anything against the leftist creators trying to do this, this statement wouldn't make any sense. The statement wouldn't make any sense, because if you actually represent creators from a wide range of backgrounds and perspectives, you would basically just ignore any kind of cancel mob doing anything. And it makes me wonder, right? Because Nicholas also posted this, and he said, well, on vacation for my 1 anniversary with my wife, Mythic Talent, my talent agency, has parted ways with me as well. If you watch my content, I barely had sponsors over the past few years, so this really isn't much of a difference, but I find the timing of this hilarious. They only want to work with liberals and creators with safe opinions now. I don't want to be associated with people that bend the knee. This isn't a loss for me, it's a win. And that makes me curious, like, what the fuck is going on? What the hell is happening? Because, like, I've had 0 issues with my manager. My manager has been, to my knowledge, great to me. I've hung out with my manager in person. Like, I feel like things have been fine. So, like, to see all of this going on social media gives me, like, this anxiety of, well, what the fuck is going on that I don't know about? And especially with, like, the issues with my page on, like, the Mythic creator page, where it continuously gets taken down and it gets edited in, like, bad ways. It's like, well, there's clearly someone at the company that has an issue with me, and they're doing this for some reason, and we keep having to fight against it, and whatever reason that is, I have no idea. And I've talked about, like, the original issues I've had as well, and Straub here posted, looking back, I'm honestly grateful Mythic Talent basically ghosted me and Rev back in 2024. Still never got a reply after my last message, by the way. I would not want to be dealing with all of this right now. And Straub shows some DMs on Discord, where it's got, like, Darling Straub Media Kit updated July 2024. Hello, and Straub waves. And then they say, nice to meet you. I have a chain of meetings coming up, but I'll take a look after, so communication may be a bit slow. And Straub says, no worries, take your time. We look forward to hearing back whenever you're able. And this was September 13th, 2024. And then in October 1st, Straub replies, hi, I hope you're doing well. Just poking you to check back in and follow up. October 18th, hi there, just wanted to follow up on our application to Mythic. We understand things can get busy. If there's any update or timeline you could share, we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And then the Mythic person responded, hello Straub, sorry for the delay here, or for whatever reason didn't get a notification on this last ping. I'm getting ready to travel for the next few days, but I've set a reminder for Wednesday when I'm back to follow up our conversation here. And Straub says, thank you, sounds great, we will be here. The Mythic person, November 12th, 2024 says, hey Straub, just got back from my trip. It was a bit delayed coming back, so we'll be checking on this week. And then nothing until December 3rd, where Straub says, you know, after much consideration, both Rev and I have decided to respectfully withdraw our interest in joining Mythic Talent. Unfortunately, due to the prolonged delay in receiving the necessary information and the lack of follow-up to discuss the next steps, we no longer feel that moving forward would be the best decision for us. We hope you understand. Thank you. And I responded to Straub with, like, a TLDR of what I've talked about on stream before, and I asked if it was a woman manager who ghosted her, because that was my experience. I reached out to them in November 2023, where I said, hey, I'm an independent VTuber that dual casts and gets around 700 to 800 CCV on Twitch, 400 to 500 CCV on YouTube at the moment. When Mythic was first announced, I hurried to apply as my CCV was increasing fast. It was around 400 when I reached out via email, and my growth has only continued upward. I'm very interested in what management service under Mythic would look like, as well as what would be expected of me and what sort of requirements are being looked in for creators who want to be under Mythic's umbrella. Thank you for your time answering my questions. And then January 4th, 2024, I followed up. Hello again, it's been a few months and my growth trajectory has not let up. I'm very much hoping you have time to discuss my questions, as it says your DMs are open for creators. And then I got a response and said, hey there, feel free to email Maddie and we'll consider. And so I did just that. I emailed that individual, and I want to make sure I'm bringing up the correct emails here because I did censor a couple of things. And so I was not in Mythic at the time, obviously. And so I said, hey there, Maddie. I'm a streamer and VTuber that goes by the name Kirsche Verstal. I've been trying to reach out to someone in Mythic to find out more about the agency since its inception. What would be required from me if I were to onboard, and what is offered to creators taken under your organization? I've seen a meteoric rise in my community in CCV this past year, going from 200 to 2,000 in a very small period of time. And I'm finding I'm very much struggling to keep up with everything on the back end of things. I finally got a response to one of my messages in Twitter DMs, and I was given your email to reach out to. Thank you in advance for your time. And they responded, "Hi Kirsche, happy Friday. Thank you so much for reaching out. Apologies for the delay in my message. I was out of town for an event and I'm just catching up on things. I would love to connect with you more on your journey and your goals. What we look for varies from creator to creator, as our biggest concern is making sure we can help connect you to sponsors and merch opportunities. I would love to connect the conversation on how Mythic can help you further reach your goals and support your growth." She gave me the Discord and she said, "Looking forward to hearing from you soon." And so obviously I switched to Discord communications because, like, why wouldn't you at that point, right? And the Discord communications, I've talked about this before, but I haven't shown off the image before. And I was added. She waved. I waved, like, a day later. I said, "Hey, I'm wondering what kind of information you need from me." And then February 1st, I was like, "Hey, wanting to touch base again as I have all day Thursday to be able to speak with you, but we'll be busy again Friday through Sunday." And then I was unfriended. I never got a response to this message, and then I was unfriended. And I was like, "Hey, that seems kind of unprofessional. What the fuck? What the actual fuck?" Happy clappy, my beloved. Whenever I add a new friend, that's usually my, like, waving emote that I used. Yeah, and ghosted. Very professional. Very professional. And then after that, obviously, I went back to email. And I said, "Hey, Maddie, thank you for the response. I've sent your request on Discord. My handle's just Kirsche. I hope your event went well. We'll look forward to hearing you on Discord instead." And then we talked on Discord. February 3rd, I said, "Hey, Maddie, I've been checking my Discord and I'm wondering if there was some sort of miscommunication. You had accepted my friend request on January 28th and I responded on January 29th asking for more information related to the conversation we would be having. When I reached out for a follow-up on February 1st, my message went through, but Discord showed that you had removed me from friends. So I'm unsure if my message even showed up. I'm just wondering exactly what's going on and also why this has happened consistently when trying to get into contact with someone from Mythic. Thanks." And then she responded 3 days later, February 6th, that apologies for the delay in my message. Unfortunately, at this time, we're currently taking a pause on signing more creators as we hire talent managers and adjust some internal systems. We appreciate your interest in Mythic talent, and when the time comes to sign more VTubers, we will be sure to reach out for a meeting again. Again, I wanted to reiterate our apologies on all the internal confusion as we figure out our new processes. I hope you have a great rest of your week. And then I think there were 2 more emails that I posted, right? I'm pretty sure there were two more that weren't to her. Yes, okay. So after that, when was this sent? This was June 14th, 2024. I'm not sure if I did anything between February and June, but this was a June 14th, 2024. Hey, creator team at Mythic, I've been trying to reach someone on your team since the initial creation of Mythic, where I sent my first email and I had roughly 400 CCV. One of my emails got a response at the end of January, and I spoke with Maddie. Things seemed to be going fine, and we added each other on Discord to discuss details. However, I was randomly unfriended and ghosted by Maddie. I reached out again via email and was told that they were taking a pause on accepting more creators at the time. I haven't heard anything since then, and since I've been involved in a few collabs with Filian, decided to ask her to inquire about the situation. To my understanding, someone had said that they would look into it, and then she gave me this email that I'm currently emailing to follow up with once again. I'm currently sitting at around 2.5k CCV, and a lot of the back-end work I need to keep up with streaming is getting to be too much, which is why I wanted to discuss terms of management with you. Thank you for your time, Kirsche. When Mythic Talent, I applied when Mythic Talent was created, like the month that they were created. I applied, and it was in 2023. Like my first correspondence on the messages that I showed was like November 2023, but they were set up I think in summer. I don't have access to the initial application because it was a website application and not from my email. And then I didn't hear anything back from this, and I sent another message, Monday, July 8th, 2024, and I said, "Hello, Mythic, I'm reaching out yet again, seeking clarity on the situation that I was involved in. Since my initial contact with Maddie and the notice from her that Mythic was not accepting any more creators at that time, I have watched your website onboard several new creators, including VTubers who are my friends and contacts. This directly contradicts the official information I was given by one of your staff members, leaving me very confused about the situation. I am now asking simply for clarity. Does Mythic have any interest in working with me or not? If not, I would ask why. I understand that I am a creator with unique opinions and content that is not for everyone, and I'm no stranger to being rejected by corporate brands on that basis. Had I simply been told that this was the case initially, I would have been disappointed but understanding. However, the impression I am getting is that I'm being deliberately ghosted and misinformed in an effort to get rid of me. This situation not only affects me personally, but also creates an awkward situation business-wise, as I do not know if I should pursue other management options or wait in the hopes of being contacted here. This is why I'm reaching out again. If this has all been one giant miscommunication, I understand and hold no ill will towards Mythic as a whole, but I am going to respectfully insist on a concrete explanation for the contradictory info and haphazard way I've been treated thus far. Thank you for your time. Damn, Kier, you're persistent. It was fucking Asmon's company. This was like mind-blowing to me, dude. Liberals love wasting other people's times. Oh, 100%. And if it was someone in the community, it might have been Vosh, but I can't remember exactly because it was so fucking long ago. But if it wasn't for someone in the community who got in touch with another streamer who was in Mythic, who then talked to his manager, it was you, thank you, Vosh, who then talked to his manager, got his manager in a group chat with me, and we were able to talk this out and find out that, oh, this manager has a reputation, so they weren't surprised I was treated this way. They were very apologetic. I was able to meet the manager that I currently have now, and I have been treated nothing but well after this first initial horrid experience from this woman manager. Why isn't she fired then? These are old emails. I don't think she still works for them. Maybe she does. I don't think she does. I don't think she still works for them. Maddie does not. Thank you, Tigernaut. So Tigernaut can confirm. That's fucking bullshit. It was awful to go through at the time. It was very awful to go through all of this at the time. And I was very happy with the way that it was handled after I was actually able to get into contact with a real person instead of an activist at Mythic. Somebody who fucks with your page and Alana's page clearly still does, though. Yes, there is clearly still someone of a poor mindset there. She left in January 2025. Man, how do you guys know more about which employees stay at fucking Mythic than I do? The only Mythic people I talk to are like my manager guy. Activists infiltrate everything. It fucking seems like it. It seems like it. So after I was able to actually get in contact with real humans at Mythic, I've had nothing but a fine time to talk about. Gotta be persistent. It's part of being in business. If I had just given up at the roadblock of Maddie, she would have gotten away with it. Unfortunately, there are many bad eggs in corporations. See, negotiating with HR in a normal corpo. Yeah. And I think when you're in my position and you're independent, you are your advocate, right? Like, I don't have someone behind me like a traditional VTuber org to negotiate on my behalf. I'm the one negotiating on my behalf. So, like, I have to be persistent if I want things to get done, you know? Kirsche really needs a manager in the Shondo sense to really get to the next level in her life. Yeah? And it's there's also something to be said that, like, you are your biggest advocate. Nobody is ever going to work as hard on your behalf as you're going to work for yourself. But it's just, like, there becomes, like, a limit of, like, how much you can take on yourself.